This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you talk about at BYU-Idaho. Today we are here with
Austin Pace,
Brecken Okerlund,
Grace Andrus,
and Abigale Maxfield. Awesome. Today we're talking about how AI impacts creative fields like design, journalism, writing, etc. And this is kind of a fun one for us to be talking about specifically because we all work at the radio station. So that's like a creative field that definitely is, I don't want to say like at risk, but is impacted, right? And I just think AI is such an interesting topic. Dude, I'm stuttering so bad right now. An interesting topic. It feels like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like everybody is talking about AI.
It's true. I feel like everyone was fear-mongered for so long. AI is stealing your jobs.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And now they're like, actually, it's not that bad. Actually, we're providing jobs. And it's like, okay.
And it's like, which is it? And
Are you stealing my job, or I'm just going to become unemployed because of the current job market? It has nothing to do with AI.
Yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting topic because I think it's almost like, all right, this is the only thing that I will say that's even remotely political. It's almost like the political state that we're in right now, where you're either all the way left or all the way right. People either hate AI and they're like, I'm never using it, no, we're done, or they love AI and they rely on it too much. I think there's a there's a middle ground that is not touched, and it should be. That's where people should be at, is that middle ground.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think like you said, like you're on either end of the spectrum, and like if you're in that middle ground, people are always like, no, like you gotta hate it, right? And you're like, do I hate it? I'm not sure.
Are you a middle grounder?
A middle grounder.
What do you consider yourself, Brecken?
I would say I'm more of a non-middle grounder. I don't know where left and right is, but I use AI a lot, almost on a daily basis. And I mean, I have subscriptions to 3 or 4 different AI platforms for work and school, as far as like messaging and targeting like people, as well as building like AI agents and like programming and stuff like that. But I feel like what pushes people to either side of the spectrum is really their understanding of what AI can do.
Yeah.
Like obviously if I'm scrolling on Facebook or Instagram and I see an AI reel, I think that's the biggest problem for sure. As far as like creatively going, is because sometimes like I saw a girl feeding a monkey and I did not know it was AI because it was that good.
Oh
my gosh.
And you're like, oh no.
Yeah. It's so stressful.
I just barely stumbled upon a completely AI podcast. Like she's completely AI, and it's like marketed as an AI podcast, and they have like 60,000 followers. Someone's making income from a fake podcast, and I was looking at the comments because I'm like, who is this audience? Are they loving it? Are they hating it? And they're like, I know this is AI, but I needed to hear this message. Like, this podcast is so good. I'm like, what? Then I'm like, wait, do I hate this, or do I wish I could know how to do that? Because 60,000 people don't seem to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was crazy to me because I was like, that is completely fake person. But
So I've listened to an AI podcast,
Oh.
but
by an AI person, like the person
Yes,
is
like
AI.
the whole
but
thing
this is it wasn't. It was for like school. So you guys
Okay.
know what Notebook LM is?
No.
Oh, it's freaking awesome. It's a study tool that I use all the time. It's by Google. Is that what, it's by Google.
Oh, yes, I know
you can like
Notebook LM.
you can throw in like your study materials. So when I was taking Nutrition 150, I threw in all of my study materials, and you could do so many cool things with it. So what I would do to prepare for tests is I would cram all the material and I'd turn it into a podcast.
Okay, wait, that's awesome.
It was really cool and like super conversational, and it helped me like retain the information. So I mean, in that sense, it really helped.
Okay,
But there
that's
are
smart.
a lot of things that were wrong and missing from it.
Yeah.
And like inflection is just not there. And that's where I think, maybe there is a better platform that can like, create this podcast that doesn't sound like, the inflection is wrong or, that it is AI. Because I think that's where it can get a little dicey, is like, I don't know, it will sound like AI.
Yeah.
But for that use, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. It was great. And I still use it. It's cool.
Yeah, that's fair. I've done something similar where I'm like, AI, will you, like, we had to read a ton of court cases for a class I was in. And so I'd have AI take the court case and explain it to me in like Gen Z slang. And like, that was the most helpful thing ever because it made it easier to understand the concepts and like understand the words I was using. which like maybe that's my bad. Like maybe I should be more educated. I don't know, but I thought it was so helpful. But so that's cool. I've never heard of making it into a podcast. That's genius.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what Notebook LM is. And then I remembered like, oh yeah, I do. Because my husband used it a lot in his classes. And like the podcast it does, it's like, it actually sounds like pretty good. Like I was like, oh, okay.
There's a couple of stumbles, but like
Yeah.
all things considered, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know. I honestly think the biggest difference in between like actually leveraging AI for your intelligence and like and not being controlled by AI, because like Austin said, a lot of information is missing. Even in like those podcasts and stuff, it skips over information and it goes in depth into something that maybe you don't need to know about. But the thing is if you moderate it and educate it well enough, then you're able to do that. Like I feel like a lot of people, and like on LinkedIn specifically, are talking about, well, learn how to prompt your thing so that it tells you the right like use. And so it's a case by case basis. But the thing is learning is like exponentially faster by using AI, because like you said, using a court, like you can explain in-depth topics about a court case and have like a fairly profound understanding of it because it's in your language, and you don't have to learn that language anymore because it was explained to you like at your learning level. So
No, that's so true, actually. I agree. And then thinking about, so like with the learning thing, because I feel like professors were so afraid of AI when it first came out. They're like, don't use it. Nobody use it. And then they were like, so we're going to use AI. And so I guess you can too sometimes. And so it was kind of interesting, but I don't know. I was thinking about how AI has impacted like art and marketing and like those kind of fields. And I remember, you know, who's the really, really tall basketball player who's really good?
Wembanyama.
Yes. So they have this kid from South Carolina. He made a campaign called Pray, and it's with Wemby and the Nuns. And everyone, and it had a little Nike swoosh. And I was like, bro, Nike's so cool for this, because there was nuns at the game. But this guy made AI. Like he used prompts, and he like was able to create art with Wemby and also the nuns. And so many people are like, this is AI slop. And I was like, I don't think it's slop. I think that I don't think I could have made that and made it look just as good. Like I feel like it looked good.
To me, it looked like a straight up photo shoot.
It
Like the
looked like
lighting
a
was like
photo
on
shoot.
point. Like the cut, I don't know. I was like,
It looked
You were like showing
professional.
it to me, and I was like, there was only like one picture that I was like, maybe I would be like, oh, did he edit this poorly, or is this potentially edited with AI? But I would have
Yeah.
never thought it was AI generated.
But I think that's talent. I feel like it takes maybe not talent, but like skill to be able to create an image like that. It's not AI slop.
That's exactly what I was going to say. 'Cause,
Okay.
like, I was going to say, like, for the person that said AI slop, I want you to go
Create the
recreate
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know where to start, because he's not using Gemini or ChatGPT
Yeah.
to create that image. There's no way. And if he is, then props to him for knowing exactly what prompts to use to get exactly what he wants. And even then, that's impressive, right?
But like, yes, but I was thinking about this too. Sorry, I was just thinking about this. Like, yes, there's a difference, but I was like, if he would have just called a bunch of people dressed up like nuns, he got Wemby, he edited the photos, he positioned it, that is still his idea. Even if he'd used AI to make it, it's still his idea. That didn't exist without him. But then it's so hard because I'm like, but there's art in like using real people and like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
I think there's art in using AI.
I mean, maybe.
And that could be a super hot take, but I really don't think it is, because I think AI in itself is an art. You just have, it's almost like you have to understand AI for it to work and for it to do what you want, right? So it's the same thing. Like I'm gonna be super generic and use Canva. You have to understand Canva in order to use Canva and create something cool, right? And that itself, it's an art, is understanding how to do that. So I think with AI, understanding and thinking about it as an art and saying, hey, I'm going to figure this out and figure out how I can use this to its fullest potential, I think is an art form in and of itself.
Because you're like, it's almost like akin to using like an Adobe program to just draw it yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
like, and I mean, even it is kind of a skill, because you can use different, like there's so many different platforms right now, and we're in such a growth stage with AI that there's not a lot of understanding. There's not a lot of regulations. And that's where like the problems with like the nuns and the Nike swoosh comes in, is because maybe this kid, like it wasn't a real campaign from Nike, so that copyright infringement's a thing. But
True.
ChatGPT or like Gemini or whatever platform you're using does not know that. And so it's just going to give it to you. And then like the other thing is like learning a hard skill like Excel, right? Like Excel spreadsheets, everyone knows that like it's a good tool. Not a lot of people know how to use it. So they're either for or against it. And they'll either say, oh, I hate Excel because I don't know what to do.
It's
or
so true.
they're just like, I love Excel. Excel is my life. This is amazing, you know? And so I think it's like on that spectrum as well as for marketing, right? You can build websites, you can do email campaigns, you can do like, I don't know, data analytics super easily just through programming, through like Claude, Base 44, like just all of these other platforms that just does it for you. So I don't need to know how to code C++ or Python anymore to build a complex website and ad campaign for like a small business.
Yeah. Which I think is cool because I feel like these people who are like more creative and have these really big ideas and these things they want to do, but they don't know how to make a website or how to create an app or how to do any of that. Now they can. And that maybe that opportunity wouldn't have been so accessible before. They'd have to hire it out, or maybe their idea never comes up front because they don't know how. So I think you're right. Like there's so many opportunities to like push something forward because you have help, professional help. Maybe you could call it professional. I don't know.
And I think that's where like the thought of it's taking away our jobs. I think that's where that thought kind of jumps in, right? Because you can do a lot of really complex things with the help of AI that you wouldn't have been able to do before. And I think that's where people you think, okay, normal people can do complex things, therefore jobs are necessary in that field that like that would be bridging that gap with a complex idea and a normal person, right? That could be misconstrued as jobs are being taken away, but I also think that it's opening up opportunities for, I don't know, entrepreneurs or just people that have big ideas. I don't know. Everybody's had a really big idea.
Yeah.
And I think AI is helping people actually do it and figure it out and become successful on their own.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it also makes people more efficient because I think if like, let's say I don't know how to make a website, but I know how to use the AI to make a website, I can get hired on to do that. And then I can make a website in 20 minutes instead of 4 hours. And then I can have 15 clients instead of 5. You know what I mean? So I think that it's not stealing our jobs, but it is reframing them. Yeah, reshaping them for sure.
I also think, and I'm going to take this, I don't want to say a different direction, but I think I want to say playing devil's advocate, but I'm going to take the negative on it.
Go ahead.
Thank you. But I also think AI, and this is where understanding how to use it is really important. And I think this is where a lot of people who are super against AI, super for AI, they rely too much on AI because there are mistakes. So I have an example. I'm just going to share it.
Yeah.
So a couple semesters ago, I was in a class and one of my assignments was flagged as like 100% AI. Super weird.
But it
I didn't use it.
Okay.
No AI. I didn't even like touch AI. No Grammarly.
Didn't even
no
like
nothing.
consult it.
No, didn't even no consulting, no nothing. So there are some, it's not a perfect system.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever will be a perfect system. And that's where I think the people that rely too much on AI, they're inhibiting themselves in their own progress.
Yeah.
Because I think, like you said, you can have 5 or 15 clients. You can do things that you weren't able to do before on your own. But I also think that you have to understand what exactly you're doing and using AI as a tool to help guide your learning instead of, hey, do this for me so I can make money. It's help me figure this out so I can make the most out of what I have. Yeah. In my opinion.
No, I think that's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the moderation comes in, because at the end of the day, like, I feel like I am in the middle because I use AI on a daily basis, but I will still draft all the messages myself before I give it to AI. Like, for instance, you can build GBTs as well as, I think are called gems in Gemini, but they remember exactly what you want. So like for the radio station doing sales, I'll literally have it draft the messaging for me, and I'll say, hey, this is the format that I need. I'm going to tell, we help businesses do X and solve this problem and this problem. And I can tell it to include that in every single email. So when I give it to it, it's like, hey, you forgot this, but I need this information from you, because I've already set I've set the boundaries and guidelines for it to know exactly what I want. And so when you're not doing that, that's when you rely on it too much. And you send emails that don't make sense.
Yeah.
You send I think everyone reads posts and they see the little 2 dashes in between words, and you know exactly
AI,
what happened because it's from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And so everyone that's when the comments say, hey, this is AI slop, because you didn't actually you didn't think about that. And I think that's really what people place the value on, is the human interaction in that. And that's why people talk about moderators for ChatGPT, moderators for AI in businesses now, because someone needs to be there to be aware to tell these people, hey, you got to still read this, dude. You still got to put in the effort and you still got to put in the work, because obviously if you don't, it's your work level's not what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're not using your critical thinking skills either, right? You're just I'll just throw it into AI, and then you kind of get that almost overly uniform kind of work being put out into the world, which can kind of stagnate progress and innovation and things like that. So yeah, it's really interesting. I think that AI is, it's just, I'm definitely a middle grounder. I'm this, it's great for this, but then if I see somebody who's look at this art I made, and I'm AI made that, and I'm immediately mad. I'm don't claim that you drew that.
Yeah.
That is not your art. Just say I prompted AI to do this, and I'm not mad. But it's just things like that where it's just kind of I don't know. I love that we can I think that everybody was just hitting on really good topics. You can get these complex things accomplished with these good ideas without necessarily having the skills to do them. But I think it's also important to recognize, at least just for me personally, I think it's also really important to recognize people who have put in the time to do that by themselves. I have been drawing for 20 years, or I'm a painter, or just whatever creative field it is, or I'm a best-selling author. And it's just kind of and those people tend to be, because I was just as I was doing research for this outline, but those people are the ones who tend to be kind of outraged by the products being put out by AI when it's being prompted, because AI is using their source material that is their they innovated it, their ideas, their skills, to train itself to put out better quality things for people. And so those are the people who are getting upset because it's being done without their consent, without licensing, without compensation, blah, 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 blah. And so it's just one of those things where it can just become a really tricky slope, especially in creative fields. At least I feel it can become a slippery slope really quick.
So I did a deep dive into AI, and especially AI in education. I talked to tons of different people, but I also listened to this TED Talk. It's by, I can't pronounce his name right, Zeynep Tufekci. It's called Machine Intelligence Makes Human Morals More Important. And one thing that he put in here, and this is actually in the story that I guess the paper that I wrote, he says that as AI becomes more powerful, human responsibility becomes more important, not less. Like you were saying, this is mine. No, it's not. Right? It's your responsibility. There's a level of, hey, integrity that and responsibility that comes with it. And I think understanding that and understanding how to use AI and being responsible with AI, that's where success is going to come. And that's where, if you don't do that, that's where AI can take a really sharp left turn.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys heard about this, but ChatGPT used to have Sora AI, but it got taken down because they were using Martin Luther King's name and image and likeness. And people were posting it all over Instagram, having Martin Luther King say all different sorts of things, some of them very bad, some of them questionable, just to say the least. Yeah. And so they got sued and had to take the platform down. And so it's one of those things where it's the negative side of AI where you can and there's a whole rabbit hole that you could go down with this, of people putting images and faces on other people just for whatever, and then AI girlfriends, AI all this other stuff, just leading to a lot of just social I guess distortion. And so people don't understand what reality really is because they spend so much time online and being chronically online that they don't know what you were saying, the actual human interaction, the human part of life, where me and you talking, right? This is provides value for me, fulfillment for me, and doing something that maybe is a little bit out of my comfort zone is actually way better than talking to ChatGPT about my problems. Yeah. Right. So
Yeah, like when Elder Bednar was here and he's like, don't have an AI like girlfriend or boyfriend. And I was like, who would do that? And like, as I've like had more exposure to AI and it's become like more normalized and more accessible, like I've been like, oh, like it's really easy. Like my mom said this as a joke, but she just said something about like, yeah, like my friend ChatGPT told me this. Cause you know, it like, you can change like the auto like tone or responses, you know, like I want you to respond to me like this, but like the base level is just like really polite and friendly. And so it's like, oh, thanks for that information, you know? And so it can become like you're almost like, oh, whoa. Like if you were like somebody who like didn't have like in-person social connections, you could see somebody like really treasuring those
AI
interactions.
is the biggest yes man until you tell it not to be.
Yep.
And then that's where you can actually have like some actual conversation without it saying, dude, you're the GOAT, but you're
Really
gonna
great
fail
question.
it. But you're super cool and you're doing so good. Keep at it.
There's no dumb questions with chat. Really proud of you for asking that. Really awesome question.
What a great question.
You're
I can
so
see why this is
intuitive.
hard.
Yes.
Like you're like, no, it's not.
Stop doing that. Stop glazing me.
Like people use ChatGPT to ask it relationship advice.
No.
And it's like, dude, if you're asking ChatGPT about relationship advice, like just find someone to ask.
Oh my gosh.
Ask
a
an
question
actual
to.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simon Sinek talks about that on a podcast. Because he has his own podcast, but he was on somebody else's podcast when I saw him say this. But he just said like, yeah, like if your girlfriend gets mad at you and he's like, and you ask ChatGPT and it gives you this great response and you tell it to her and it fixes everything, but then she finds out ChatGPT told you to do that, she's gonna be mad. And he's like, and there's a reason for that. And he talks about like the risk of like these in-person connections and how like AI, if we become too reliant on it, like we talked about, like the integrity and morality of using it is like can become like it can teeter too far the other way, and how it's like so important that we not go that way, basing our like relationships on those connections in quotes.
Yeah, no, it's so real. It's interesting because I kind of similar to you. I was like, how does someone even have an AI girlfriend or boyfriend? But it like makes sense that if you get so lost in the sauce of the AI world, like, I don't know. I saw there was a news article about a guy who married his AI chatbot girlfriend.
It shouldn't be legal.
Like legally,
Yeah, why
I think
is
in the
that?
state of California. I don't know, I'm
gosh,
just
of
saying
course
that
it's
because California, dude, I literally just say that. Bro, I feel like they can get away with anything over there.
Oh,
But I don't know where it was at, but they showed the video of like he set up the iPhone or the phone that had the AI chatbot, and then somebody married them. I'm like,
you can't be married to a computer.
I don't know.
This is not SpongeBob.
I don't know. I don't know, Plankton. I don't know. But it's just interesting how far it can go when AI is such a cool tool that can really help in so many different ways. But like all things in moderation, right? So
Yeah. I guess I'd just like to pivot just slightly. What do you think are like the risks of using it in like these creative fields? Because we talked about like the integrity and like kind of the morality of it. Is there like, do you feel like there are like certain things that are like, oh yeah, you can totally use it for that like every time? Or is there a point where it like crosses a line? Like, I don't know. I guess I've just wondered because like for me, I'm like Brecken was like, I always write the original message myself. And I do that too, but then I throw it into chat or like whatever AI I'm using. And then if I like that better, I usually adopt like 80% of the message. Depending on the length, right? If it was like a massive essay, I'm definitely not adopting that. But if it's like a short email, I'm like, yeah, that was way better than when I said like, I'll fix some of these, I'll incorporate some of the language you use, kind of a thing. And so like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's like, at what point does it become like, what if I am just like, hey, write me this essay? Is that okay? Or is that like not okay?
Probably not.
What if I did all the research for it and then I fed it to, it's just one of those things where it's like, it just becomes so hazy so quickly for me.
I think last semester there was a guy, he built an AI agent to do his homework.
Whoa.
And he was doing a full-on Canvas assignments for his homework, and then obviously got expelled because like there was no learning or engagement because he was just having an AI bot write all of his essays, all of his work. And that speaks to like, you're not using your critical thinking. You're not like using like these things that you should be learning, because like really when you go into a job field, they expect you to know nothing anyway.
yeah.
But if you have critical thinking, hard work, and like a optimistic person really,
The personality hire.
yeah. So I mean that's me, but anyway, like if you go in without any of those, like you're not really useful to
Yeah.
that company, and you're not going to have a successful future. I don't think you're going to have a fulfilled marriage. You're not going to be able to take care of children.
AI can only do so much. It can't parent. It can't
Change diapers.
Can't change diapers.
Can't walk the
literally.
dog. Can't.
It has to be thought of as a tool instead of a solution.
Yes, every time.
Because like when
Thank
yes no so when you think about it, like it can be such a helpful tool. Like for me, I use it on all of my articles, but I write the article, I write the title or like the headline, I write the summary, and then I ask chat and I'm like, hey, tell me like how this would work, or like what SEO keywords I could use to like, I don't know, to help optimize this article's reach, or is this headline doing too much with the material that I have?
Yeah,
or like it's helping with optimization instead of, ooh, help me write a headline right now, please. Write my headline
Yes.
or write my article.
I was just going to say, my favorite thing to do is upload the rubric and then upload my assignment that I made and be like, okay, what am I missing? What do I need to have 100%? And then chat's like, bro, you're missing this, because I usually am missing a lot. But they're like, bro, you're missing this and this and this. And I'm like, perfect. And then I do the work, I add what I need, and then I send it through again. I'm like, okay, like check the rubric. How am I doing? I think you're right. It's a tool, not a solution. I'm not going to say write this essay. I'm going to say, hey, help me get 100%.
So I was talking to
Please.
the AI. I guess what's his official title?
What's
Let me
a
check real
Gemini?
quick. His name is Sidney Palmer. He's the
Whoa.
BYU-Idaho AI officer.
Cool.
And he was talking about like how, because they're implementing a bunch of or a couple of courses now for students to take about how to properly use AI in education. And one thing that stuck out to me was he said AI is not going away, so we need to figure out how to adapt and use it in education, because he says there's so many really cool things that AI can do within education. And that was one of those suggestions that he gave. He said, like, don't use it as, hey, do this for me, but like that rubrics are so cool because I mean, everybody uses a rubric. Before AI, you looked at what you had and you look at the rubric and say, do I have that? Yes or no? Do I have that? Yes or no? Do I need to add? AI is helping you like quicken that process, and it might help you catch some things that you might have missed before.
Yeah, true.
So he was like, I 100% recommend using it, but you have to prompt it correctly. You have to say, grade me super harsh. Don't tell me what I did right. Tell me what I did wrong. And from there, it'll tell you, hey, you did this and this and this and this wrong. And he's like, that is a fantastic way to use AI, especially when it comes to like education. Like all of us are in college and we're going to use it at some point. And that's a really good way to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one of our classes, our teacher that Grace and I have, he just always talks about, he's like, you are going to use AI in the workplace. They're going to expect you to have that skill. And he's like, so I encourage you to use it. And he's like, please do. And then like, because a lot of his are like, use this data or find this information or like, tell us about like the presence of this business online and like, what is their interaction rate, or like how many followers do they get, or how often do they post, or just all these things. And like I use AI all the time to scrape that information. Like I'm like, and then like sometimes I'll go and I'll like double check it, and like sometimes I'll go, and I'm trying to make sure it's as accurate as possible. But like I just love that perspective. Like it's not going away, so let's adapt. Let's figure out like what we can utilize this. And like sometimes I'll even be like, dude, I'm so stuck. I can't envision like this slide he wants me to design. So I'll just tell AI to do it, and like with the data it's scraped, and then I'm like, oh, that looks awful. And then it starts giving me ideas, and then I go make my own, and then it's like completely different. And I'm like, all right, see, look, this is how I wanted it to look, and I did it myself, and it's good. Like, so I think it's, yeah.
I think that's a good use of brainstorming, because like a lot of time when people think of brainstorming, it's the generating ideas. Generating ideas and brainstorming are two completely different things.
Yeah.
So I think when people say that they use AI to brainstorm, it's to generate ideas, which is an awful use of AI. It's like what you were saying, like you're taking what it gave you and you're like, okay, from there, you can start to generate your own ideas on how it's going to look, and it then becomes your own. Instead of, hey, this is the assignment, help me generate ideas for what I should do. That's not it. Because that's a super crucial part of learning, and that's where a lot of like, those skills that Brecken was talking about really come to play, and what employers are looking for in the future. It's generate an idea and then use AI as a tool to develop that idea.
Yeah.
Instead of do this for me.
Yeah.
Like, so I can give an example from corporate and then school personally that I've seen. Well, and we went on a Dallas expedition tour to a whole bunch of different companies. all the companies used some sort of AI. I know Bank of America was mentioned that they use Copilot to like congruently get together information so that they can use Excel spreadsheets, Microsoft Word, Microsoft OneNote, like all of these things that are Microsoft products, they can stick into one like essential like ChatGPT or one group or file in Copilot, and then it can pull information from all those sources to give them information.
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of what we were talking about, is just like brainstorming and things like that, but it gives you relevant information with guidelines. And then even in school, for all of my sales classes now, we've built online profiles and resumes for companies and portfolios, building websites and stuff like that, where they can look up the website link and you can have, hey, this is my tailored messaging for you. This is what it would look like, and this is what it would look like if you hired me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then as well as like AI role plays, right? Where you're like role playing with an AI bot, like, hey, this is so-and-so, I'm just calling. And then you can
That's
have the like robot to be really mean to you and like all this other stuff so that you can like really get the real experience of being yelled at, you know? Yeah.
Genius.
You idiot, take me off the list. Wow, that's real. That's kind of awesome. I've never heard of that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome. AI is a great tool, and I'm glad we were able to discuss it today. I feel like we could go on for forever, so maybe we'll do like a second part of this or
Part
something, because I feel like we could talk even more. Thank you guys so much for being here, and just everybody who's listening, share your thoughts on this topic down below, and just let us know about your thoughts on AI. And so, yeah, we're out of time. So you've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Austin Pace,
Brecken Okerlund,
Grace Andrus,
and Abigale Maxfield. The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university, and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. Subscribe to The Spot, available on all music streaming platforms, or visit our website byui.edu/radio and click podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at BYUI_The Spot. Have a topic in mind? Leave us a comment and let us know what we should talk about next. Awesome. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.